Um, Hi, my name is Max, Dutchy, and I came across this particular video in my feed, I think it was a few days ago. So I decided to watch through it, and I thought maybe someone else would be interested in my thoughts because a polarizing message like the Netherlands is the worst country in Europe can be discouraging for other tourists, other interested travelers. So I'm just going to watch the video. I'm going to play it all out. I'm going to give my thoughts in short. I don't expect this video to be long. Maybe I'll even include timestamps if you want to see something in particular. Okay, let's roll it.
Hello, fellow travelers. Today, I'm going to tell you about a country that I didn't like.
First things first. I haven't seen any other videos from this woman, but it's voice overed, which means that she doesn't speak English or doesn't speak it well enough to be um I forgot the word, but it kind of means that she doesn't have faith in her own English ability. Well, whatever.
Officially, it is named the Netherlands, but my experience was specifically in the Holland region in the city of Amsterdam.
Why does every tourist always go to Amsterdam? I've been there for I don't know how many weekends of my life, and I cannot for the life of me imagine why Amsterdam is so appealing to tourists outside of the um, drug laws. You know, we're known for the weed slash whatever country because I think we were the first to legalize it. But oh well.
The country of Holland is full of attractive people. Many people would like to move there to find love, because the Dutch are very good looking people.
Okay, I never heard this from anyone ever, but thanks, I guess. I do know we're officially the tallest people, but apparently we're also really good looking. Well, that's good to know.
People claim that there are jobs there and that it's a very special country. I found out about this country online.
Yeah, we have a major labor shortage in the Netherlands right now. There's work practically everywhere. If you are from anywhere and you would like to see the Netherlands for a couple months, I'm 100% sure you could find a job within a day because of the amount of labor shortages we have.
When I arrived in this country with my son, the very first day was snowy. I stayed at Schiphol Airport for the first night because we landed late and security personnel mistreated us and were racist towards us. Most people spoke Dutch, which is a very hard language to learn.
Well, security is being mentioned as being racist, but she doesn't mention what actually happened, so it's kind of hard to paint a picture of this.
Some people also spoke English as a secondary language, but it was broken English, therefore, it was very hard to communicate with them.
Well, the fact that you have your video voice overed by clearly someone else means that your English is either non-existent or also very broken. Um, from the fact that it has, I think it's Spanish, a Spanish place mentioned as location. I think that you probably have lived in a Spanish speaking community your entire life and therefore do not speak English. So I kind of find it weird that you would talk about someone else's English like this when it's probably better than yours.
I struggled as the airport was the first encounter I ever had with the Dutch.
Yeah, the airport's usually the first thing you see.
The next day, I went to my hotel, which, by the way, was very expensive. I did not find any cheap hotels to stay at within the city of Amsterdam.
Well, I think if you're visiting any specific capital in any country, hotels in specific capital will be expensive. I think that's general knowledge as a tourist.
I spent too much money. After staying 2 months in Amsterdam, I suffered so much.
Why are you in Amsterdam for 2 whole months as a tourist? I mean, I can't imagine you needing there to you need to be there for longer than say a week, maybe two, if you want to see the landmarks and Kinodijk and whatever. Why were you here for 2 months, and why did you stay in a hotel in the city for 2 months? I can't imagine how many thousands of dollars that must have cost.
I wanted to leave, and I ended up completely broke. It was freezing there.
So you wanted to leave, then why didn't you leave? Sounds to me like you really just misplanned the whole traveling thing.
There was too much snow and many bicycles everywhere, because the Dutch culture involves riding a bike everywhere.
Yeah, that's like going to Spain and complaining that it's hot there. I mean, we are literally known as the bicycle country. What else did you expect?
Since the country is little, the Netherlands being a car free country,
We're not car free. Definitely not car free. Um, we do have specific green zones though. I think Amsterdam and the city of Utrecht has one of these green zones, and that means that within these zones, specific car types that emit too much dirt into the air are not allowed in the city. But Amsterdam is not a car-free country at all. As you can see, these people standing here in the middle of the street, this is a car road. This is actually a car road, and you can go left, you can go right, you can go straight, as the sign also indicates. So I really don't know where she gets the whole car free thing.
there are not many cars around. As I said earlier,
I mean, you said you've been in Amsterdam for 2 months and you haven't mentioned being anywhere else. Yeah, I can't imagine you've seen much cars because everyone knows that driving a car in Amsterdam is near straight suicide because of the amount of traffic usually. Ironic, isn't it?
the Dutch are very attractive people physically, but they are very cold and they will not socialize with you.
You were in the tourist capital of the Netherlands. I cannot imagine people not wanting to socialize with you.
They will never talk to you out of the blue. Instead, they just show you a fake smile.
Is it any different in America though? I mean, as far as I know, in America, people take to themselves, especially in the cities. I think I think you're used to this. Somehow that's different here, I guess.
The fact that they constantly said, "Hello, hello," annoyed me so much, and I didn't like it at all.
But that literally contradicts what you just said. You just said we didn't socialize with you, while so many people apparently did greet you. But speaking from the fact that you have a voiceover on this video, again, you probably don't speak any English decent enough to communicate. So that sounds like a you problem.
That's how they communicate, so you move out of their way.
No, we don't say anything. We just walk straight past at a higher pace.
Because they are commuting through the city using bicycles.
What does that have to do with anything?
There are also railways for cable cars on the streets, with the buses and cars and bikes. All of them using the same roads. I found it quite unorganized.
I mean, isn't like the Dutch road system one of the best road systems in Europe, if not the world? I can, if I remember correctly, I once viewed a video from a YouTuber that made comparisons about how American cities were very, very badly designed and compared it to cities like Amsterdam, I think. I mean, it's just going back, it's going on the back of memory, but no.
It is a very small city, beautiful and old fashioned, but it is full of canals and rivers, which I didn't like.
That's like going to Venice and complaining there's too much canals.
I suffered so much. I became depressed since I spent so much money. I never even found a job to sustain myself, and I've been ripped off by two Dutch employment agencies.
I kind of want to know what you were doing here in the first place then, because you were a tourist, if I remember correctly. You were a tourist, but you were looking for a job, and you had a son. So, did you come here to actually try to emigrate, or what's the plan? Because you never really elaborate on this.
Because they demand you meet so many requirements to work, and it's a very closed country,
Yeah, the fact that we're very uh, hesitant on who we hire is actually because Europe, especially Northern Europe, has really good labor laws. People from Bulgaria, Poland, wherever, they all come over to work here. So there's plenty of jobs and there's plenty of diversity.
you can't work or have access to basic services as a foreigner.
Depends what you count as basic services.
If you are an American, I guess the same principles applies to any non-European foreigner. You have zero possibilities of working in the Netherlands.
That's just not true. Anyone from anywhere can apply, and if you make it in, you get the job. But 9 out of 10 times, the job requires you to speak Dutch because we are the Netherlands. And jobs that do not require you to speak Dutch are mostly involved with logistics and that kind of work. But even there, you have to speak English. I'm not going to repeat what I think about your English again, by the way.
I lived in Amsterdam, and after doing so for a time, there is nothing left for us.
Yeah, you lived in the very center of the tourist capital of our country. That's expensive as hell. I mean, I live here and I wouldn't go to Amsterdam for more than a weekend because of how expensive everything is. But I think it's the same if you go to New York. No, you buy a beer for like $5.
Let's also not forget that the Dutch are stingy and greedy. In most cases, they will not give you a handout if you're in need.
Yeah. Do any people anywhere give you a handout if you're in need? Oh yeah, I didn't think so.
Some people point out the greatness of the welfare that citizens of the European Union can benefit from.
Yeah, that's right. You have a really good welfare system. Even if you do work, but you don't make a sufficient amount of money to sustain yourself and your family, you can still apply for welfare and you will receive it, even if it's just in part, so you can get through the month.
But that was not so great, because I've met many people from Europe who still had nothing while there, as they spent all their money in that country, and especially in the city of Amsterdam. They read on the internet that it is supposed to be the best country and that there are plenty of opportunities. But it's not true.
The best country in terms of what? I don't know, man. You don't mention any details.
Forget about going there if you don't have any money.
Forget traveling anywhere if you don't have money. Would you go anywhere if you didn't have money? I wouldn't.
Because if you're unlucky and end up homeless, you can't even exist there. The police will arrest you and fine you if they see you sleeping on the streets.
Yeah, that's definitely not true. Amsterdam has a hobo problem, as in the amount of hobos, but they're literally sleeping in front of stores and no one cares. People just leave them be because they're already in a pinch as much as it is.
I met a girl from Germany, and she had a tough life in the Netherlands. She had trouble saving up money working at bars and hotels. Even
Yeah, um, two jobs, and you're not able to somehow save money. I guess that means you should look for different living arrangements because, as I said, living in the city center is really damn expensive.
with two jobs, she was not able to save enough money to survive. It is very hard because the system is made to benefit older people.
I can't get around the fact that this whole video is voice overed. It throws me off so much.
Older people's wages are way higher than young people's. It's a system where the older you get, the more you get paid.
Yeah, you get paid more by seniority. That's very true, and that's something I personally do not really like because it doesn't reward effort. It just requires you to be older, so to be lucky and to be born earlier. I think that's really dumb. Um, so yeah, you actually have a point there. I do agree. But outside of that, you should be able to make enough money anywhere if you just work the hours.
The most important thing you need to know before moving to the Netherlands is to bring a lot of money with you, because you are going to spend a lot on hotels and going out.
If you're emigrating, you're not going to use hotels, I hope. And if you are, you're a tourist and you should be ready to spend anyway because traveling in itself is expensive.
This is especially true in Amsterdam, which is a very small city.
I mean, compared to the rest of Europe, yeah, it's very small. I barely think it has a million inhabitants by itself. The Netherlands only has, I think it's like 18 million inhabitants. So yeah, it's really damn small. I think Germany, our neighbor, has double this amount while being 6 times as large or something like that. If I get the numbers right. But yeah, we are a small country, I guess. And guess what? We still have housing problems.
You could literally walk across the city in 1.5 hours.
That's not completely true. If you would go from north to south, like with the shortest road possible, I think it still takes a couple hours. But the city itself is really compact. If you're ever going to visit, I think that's one of the first things you'll notice. It's really compact, and that's from the fact that the city is so old already. Because the amount of inhabitants always was pretty small, even during the Dutch Golden Age, and suddenly the amount of inhabitants exploding, going up rapidly, required the city to build like these huge apartment blocks and stuff. So the whole city is really compact.
Also, consider in winter it is very cold, very windy, very snowy, and in Amsterdam, there are not many places to sit.
I mean, it just sounds like you didn't do any research before you left. Yeah, we have cold winters and we have humid summers, and you would have known that if you had done any research whatsoever. Don't you do research when you go somewhere? I would.
There aren't big shopping centers to go shopping. The only places to go are McDonald's and Burger King.
What? Uh, what? Sorry, I didn't even know what to make of this. Yeah, we have a couple McDonald's, we have a couple Burger King, we have like the Kalverstraat, which is a street couple of 100 meters long, which is lined with shops. There's all these shorter streets, smaller streets attached to this street specifically that are all lined with shops. The entire center is one big shopping mall. There's shops everywhere.
Which are places most people gather and drink. In reality, this country isn't that great. There are too many drugs.
Bruh. We are literally known as like haha the weed country and stuff like that because yeah, we have legalized drugs. Again, you would have known this if you had done any prior research.
On the weekends, teenagers get high, get drunk, and there's also a lot of legal and illegal prostitution.
Again, oh my god. Okay, again, we have legalized prostitution because it's dumb not to legalize it, and it being illegal gives way more issues than it being legal, and it allows it to be taxed. Yeah, I mean, my god, what do we even have to do with this?
To be honest, I didn't find it was the best country in the world, as the internet claims.
I would really want to know where this claim comes from because I literally have never heard it before. Yeah, thanks for watching. Okay, this video is unsubstantiated and a hot pile of garbage. but it's really good for a laugh, I guess. Well, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and see you in the future, maybe.